Hey all, I'm about to spend 100 days isolated on this Stardew Valley farm. I was only allowed to leave for 2 reasons. Festivals where I had to go and come straight home afterwards, and Sundays of every week where I can go and do whatever I want in the world. I also had some goals, and no, these aren't just going to be random easy ones that I just chucked in at the end. I'm going to push myself. I need to get every single one of my skills to level 5. Combat is definitely going to be the hardest one. I need to make 200,000 gold, beat Prairie King in Junimo Kart, and create a beautiful farm I can be proud of. Let's get into it. And let's just say you might be surprised by how much you can get done with only 1 day off the farm each week. On day 1, I started with a true big brain play. When I created the farm, I set it up so 3 cabins spawned in, but instead of getting friends, I got a controller and added 3 extra players. I just made them grab their parsnips and then give them to me, so I started with 60 parsnip seeds instead of just 15. Genius strategy, truly. Even though I did now have 60 parsnip seeds, I didn't plant them all at once since watering them was going to be very annoying, so I just decided to do it in a couple of batches. After watering and hoeing them all, I was only at 1 energy, so I just chopped fiber looking for mixed seeds for the rest of the day. Day 2, I watered all my crops, which took a surprisingly big amount of energy. Since I was low on energy, I decided to scythe down the rest of my grass since I didn't really want to bother with animals, at least for now, and I was planning to put some trees down there and the grass was kind of in the way. Also, it just didn't look super good in my opinion, kind of all patchy. I chopped trees for like 15 seconds on day 3, then just ran out of energy. You really go through energy fast when you chop trees, especially in the early game when you have no food, but at least I didn't have to water my crops because it was raining. 4th day, I chopped more trees, but I had to do even less because it wasn't raining, so I had to water my hell of a lot of crops. Day 5, my very first batch of parsnips were ready, so I grabbed them and planted the rest of mine. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I was using one mod, the to-do list, haha, good one I know. But basically, it just lets me put down reminders of what I'm working on, which is honestly just a godsend since I'm super forgetful when I play Stardew. After writing down a few things I needed to do, I collected some acorns from around the farm and relocated them down to the stump area. Since I had a bit more energy, I ran around my farm and collected 1 piece of coal so I could make a scarecrow tomorrow. Since the rest of my parsnips were done on day 6, I grabbed them, made a scarecrow, and chopped a few more trees. It's Sunday, my first day off the farm, and I had some things I needed to get done, like getting lots of copper in the mine, collecting every single forageable in the spring, and of course spending all my gold on potatoes. Things went pretty well. I found all the forageables I needed except for a leek, then headed all the way down to floor 10 of the mines, along the way collecting 26 copper ore. Not great, but I also found some valuable gemstones to sell later on for some more money. I brought myself a chest to the mine, but remembered I would have to wait a whole week to come back, so I had to do 2 trips bringing everything I got in the mines back to my farm. While I was walking back to my farm, I noticed it was past 5 o'clock, meaning I forgot to grab my fishing rod. I headed to the saloons to drown my sorrows in a game of Prairie King, the top-down bullet hell mini game in the saloon, and I actually won first try, literally my first time playing in weeks. Come on, that deserves to like the video. Let's shoot for as many likes as Deathless Prairie King attempts, so like, I don't know, 10 million-ish? Fun fact, if we actually got that many likes, that would make this the 6th most liked YouTube video of all time. After that massive eco boost of a win, I headed home and watered my crops since I forgot to in the morning. I snagged my Prairie King cabinet in the mail since they mail you with things you can play on your own farm when you win the game, because that's totally what people want to do more of after beating the game. Then watered some more crops, collected some more seeds, expanded my farm, and just generally cleared my farm. The anti-Lorax behavior continued into day 9, and I was making good progress. Most of the trees right outside my house were stumps, and just in case you were wondering, the reason I didn't fully chop down the trees is that stumps can still generate seeds that I can move to a place that is a lot easier for me to manage, not just kind of willy-nilly all over the place. On day 10, I decided I was gonna not make my farm look like complete garbage, so I moved all the tables outside and created a big table for, you know, all the friends I have. Then I cleared a few stumps near my table and made fences all around the area near my house. Pretty solid start, but I decided I was going to make it a lot better later on. On day 11, I experimented with a few path designs and oh wow, that looks awful. I also made a big decision to move all my tree seeds right below my fence area. I lost a few seeds since a lot of them had already grown to the stage where I couldn't move them, but it wasn't really a huge deal since I could get up a decent amount of them. I ran a little path down from my fence area and spaced spaced the trees 2 apart so I had a little bit more room for potential tree seeds to spawn. This did require me to tear down a lot of tree saplings below the fence area, but I wasn't really worried since I did have so many seeds. I wasn't really happy with all the random debris all over my farm, so on day 12 I started clearing it straight away. With the stone and wood I collected from mining and breaking rocks, I made a nice little path in my fence area and set up a few tables, kind of like a outdoor restaurant cafe vibe. I think it looks pretty nice, but this one rock inside is kind of triggering me. I also thankfully remembered that the egg festival was tomorrow, so I sold half my parsnips, some gemstones, and some potatoes I got from mixed seeds. Totaled up to 1700 gold, so enough for 17 strawberry seeds, not bad at all. I realized my potatoes were ready on day 13, a good thing, right? Nah, that's just 1000 gold worth of potatoes I can't spend on strawberries since nothing is open and I can't sell them. I wasn't really too distraught over it, just a bit annoyed, so I just planted some more trees while I waited for 9, then headed over and try-harded the egg hunt, grabbing 11 total eggs from the hands of desperate children. Since the prize with the straw hat, I finally had something to protect my poor guy's bald head from the burning sun on hot days. Since today was Sunday, I had 2 days out in a row thanks to the festival, and I had just as much to do as the last time. I instantly grabbed the fishing pole and searched for a leak. Didn't end up finding one still. After that leak disappointment, I snagged another 20 potato seeds and 70 copper. I could have gotten more copper and probably further in the mine, but I actually forgot my sword at home, so I was completely defenseless. A little later at home, I planted my potatoes and got lit. That means I placed torches. What did you think I meant? After a nice sleep, I awaken on day 15 and get straight to work, smelting my ores, chopping more trees, planting seeds, and updating my to-do list. After a little more tree chopping tomfoolery, I grabbed some palm trees, unused paths, a chest, and my old rod and reel combo and made a little fishing setup. Since I was going to be spending a lot of time fishing, I needed to make sure I was comfy. And that lot of time fishing started now. I needed to reach level 2 fishing by next Sunday to make sure I could buy the fiberglass rod. And I didn't really want to leave it to the last minute, so I started on it straight away. Day 17, I got my first companion besides Mr. Scarecrow. I should probably give this guy a name. Let's go with Alex, for no reason in particular. Anyways, back to my cat name choice. It was my only living companion, so it needs to be good. Oh, I know. Perfect. Beautiful name. Beautiful name, am I right? You should do that. Not that everyone watching hates me, let's just keep chopping trees and planting saplings. It was terrible out, pouring rain all day on day 18, so I just used the poor weather to grab myself a rainfish worth a total of $1,800 and set up a chest storage system finally. I worked on a torch pattern so my farm wasn't so dark at night on day 19, then used the rest of the day to fish. After storing away the cookies my mom had generously sent me, I fished for the whole day on day 20 till I ran out of energy. Another day free on day 21, and I had another laundry list of tasks I needed to do. But before I left, I grabbed my strawberries first harvest, donated all the artifacts I built up so I'd get the cauliflower seeds to plant, and then opened my geos and upgraded my axe to copper. It was going to be kind of annoying not having my axe for a week, but being able to clear the stumps on the farm was going to be very nice. It was also going to save me a pretty good amount of energy since I could chop trees a lot faster. Since I had been saving up money for a while, I had around 6,000 gold, and after selling my strawberries, I had just below 9,000 total. Since I didn't want to spend all my money on potatoes, I didn't really want to water that, and I also needed to make some other purchases. I decided to only buy 40 seeds. After I snagged those from Pierre, I headed down, bought the fiberglass rod from Willie along with 120 bait and a couple trout soup. After that, I meandered my way home checking for forageables, then got all my crops down before remembering it was way too late to plant my cauliflower, so I tore them out, then just spent the rest of the day fishing with my leftover energy. I cleaned up my tree area with some more torches, then fished all day on day 22. I told you we were going to be doing a lot of fishing. Started day 23 with more fishing. Crazy, I know. I only did it for a few hours today though, since I wanted to get some more trees down and a lot of seeds were just lying all over the farm. And funnily enough, while looking for them, I actually found 2 leeks just straight up in the forest area on my farm. However, sadly, it was too late for me to plant the forageable seed packets I was going for this entire time, so said leeks were basically useless. If I really needed money, I was probably just going to craft all my forageables into seed packets, then sell them. It was the flower dance on spring 24th, and I was considering skipping it and going mining, but that would have broken the rules, so I just stood in the corner and watched menacingly. I snagged my final strawberry harvest on the 25th. This was going to help my watering load a lot, since I haven't really been mentioning it, but I've been spending like 100 to 150 energy every single day watering. I also finally leveled up my fishing to level 5 yesterday, so I get a 25% sell boost with the Fisher perk on all my fish. And I'd actually been saving up all the fish I'd been catching for this very moment. After a little more fishing, I headed to sleep and made a total of 4,800 gold from all my fish, bringing me to over 15,000 total gold earned. Not bad for spring only. Day 26 was a fishing day, day. When I filled up my inventory, I just moved a ton of chest items up to my main storage area from my fishing chest, then just headed off to bed. My big harvest of potatoes finally finished on day 27, so I snagged them all, did a little bit more fishing, and added a few more things to my to-do list. I lost the footage for day 28, but here's what I remember. I reached 25k gold total earned thanks to my potato selling, which triggers the Demetrius cutscene where he asks you to choose between the fruit bat cave and the mushroom cave. Now normally I go for the fruit bat cave every single time since it's like objectively better for most players, but this run mushroom actually made a lot more sense since I did actually need the energy the mushrooms gave me. With the rest of the day, I sold my strawberries I was saving since I leveled up my farming. It gave me a 10% boost to my sell price. Then I gave Jody a cauliflower for quest money, got 9 melon seeds from donating some stuff, got a ton of seeds from the ground for more saplings, bought 5 iron for a recycling machine, then opened a geode and got 20 more from him, which was unbelievably lucky. And since I now have 25 iron, I just figured I may as well get 5 more so I can upgrade a tool. Then I reached floor 20, got some more stone for paths, then snagged an iridium rod for 8,000 gold. The first day of my fun in the sun was less eventful than the start of the season normally is. Since I couldn't go to Pierre's and buy more seeds, I kinda just planted the melon seeds I got from the museum for free, then did some more deforesting with my brand new shiny copper axe. The tree genocide continued into day 30 since, again, I couldn't really take advantage of the new crops or forageables. Day 31 was just more of the same. I also got rid of the stumps since they didn't really do a whole lot and kinda just got in my way. I remember that fishing was actually a thing I could do on day 32, and the summer fish were a hell of a lot more valuable than the spring ones. So I could really take advantage of this with valuable and energy-rich fish like the tilapia and super cucumber. If I got lucky, I could even maybe get a couple of puffer fish, which not as energy rich as the other ones, they did sell for a lot of gold. If you're wondering why the fish on my farm changed, you know, normally I was catching sardines and stuff like that in spring, it's actually because whatever you can catch on the beach, the normal beach, not my beach, you can actually catch on the beach farm, albeit with a higher chance for garbage. Days 33 and 34, I also just apparently lost the footage, so I probably just fished or something lol. Day 35 was the first Sunday of the month, so I grabbed my coffee so I could get around quicker and immediately wasted it waiting for the museum and Clint to open. After opening all my geodes and donating all my artifacts, I upgraded my axe to iron and then went and bought my summer seeds and a backpack upgrade. The backpack upgrade was long overdue and I had plenty of money for it. For my seeds, I went for 75 blueberry seeds. I normally would do melons, but since I have nowhere near enough coal to make jars and also very little money to buy coal to make jars, blueberries made a lot more sense. In addition to the blueberries, I also bought hops, a seriously underrated crop that essentially give you unlimited energy since they give you a good amount of energy and regrow 2 days after finishing their first growing session. Afterwards, I took advantage of being able to go off my farm and mine my way down to floor 25, then planted all my crops. In the previous 2 days I had lost the footage to, I had built this very nice little garden area, and it honestly turned out a lot better than I expected. After lighting it up with a couple of torches, I just headed off to bed. Day 36 was raining, and as you can tell from my recording, I was very pleased about that. Since I didn't have to water anything, and with that extra energy, I could fish more. The rainfish were actually a lot less valuable than the sunfish on the beach, so I was probably going to avoid fishing in the rain once again, but I did find a diamond and some other gems in a treasure chest. Unfortunately, I was a little spacey, so I ended up exhausting myself. Unfortunately, that was going to make me start with extremely reduced energy next day. My first summer watering day wasn't actually as bad as I expected, ignoring the loss of energy part. The only annoying part was that I had to refill my watering can twice to get all my crops. I think I was a little tired today as well, since I ran into a scarecrow for a solid 10 seconds before noticing. I endured the monstrous task of watering all my crops on day 38, then headed down around my farm to look for more seeds, and I actually found a stone owl statue. I didn't remember hearing the sound effect for it, so I must have missed it for whatever reason, or somehow, I don't really know how. I was going to make a little setup for it, but I decided to post-paint a little bit since I didn't have my axe, and I was kind of unsure where I wanted to put this little setup, so I just fished for a little bit more and accidentally exhausted again. But I didn't give up this time. I actually kept fishing, so it would level up my fishing, and I wouldn't take an energy loss, and I actually managed to clutch up and hit fishing level 8. If you don't understand, when you level up a skill the day before, you start with full energy regardless if you exhausted yourself the day prior. With that small mistake, then small victory, I headed off to bed in a different cabin just for a little bit of a change, you know? On day 39, it was the Luau Festival. I had gotten a letter yesterday reminding me, but I had probably forgotten 2 seconds after, so I had to scramble a bit when I saw the pop-up. I didn't really have anything good enough for a perfect response, so I settled for an iridium quality halibu that gave me a good response. Not the best, but not the worst by any means. I couldn't really do anything else at the festival, so I just headed straight in, put the fish in the pot, then headed home to do a little bit more fishing till the bats are asking me got too annoying. Day 40 was an all fishing day. I wanted to reach level 10 fishing for the 50% sell boost perk to my fish, but I was only level 8 and it was Friday, so there was no chance I was gonna reach it in time. These days are forever lost to time tragically, but I got my iron axe, made it to floor 40, and I got so insanely lucky that you guys will not believe me. I got like 5 freebie ladders in a row in the mines, then on floor 39 I only had 5 energy left, and on the very last rock, the swing that brought me to 1 energy, I broke it and got a ladder. Actually fuming I didn't get it here on camera. Oh yeah, and as I was chopping down a tree, lightning struck and cut one down directly next to me. It was kinda cool. Honestly molding. With my new iron axe, I cleared off the sprinkler area. I wasn't sure if I was gonna bother making sprinklers since there was no way I was gonna be able to get quality ones, and I needed to get to farming level 7 to even unlock the recipe, and then I needed to make it all the way down to floor 80 of the mines to get gold to craft them. After that little chore, I took out the rage of forgetting to record some of the best days by murdering more trees. Oh yeah, and I haven't really been mentioning this, but the mushroom cave was actually very helpful with a consistent energy source, since even if I only got brown mushrooms, it was still like 25 energy per mushroom. Day 44, I actually found enough iron in a treasure chest to make me a worm bin, since I was constantly running out of bait, and if I didn't fish for a few days, it was built up a decent amount, and that was pretty much the only important thing that happened today. Day 45, I went ham. I chopped down basically every single tree I could find, then used the saplings to make field snacks, and then chopped down more trees, then made more field snacks, then chopped down more trees. So basically what I'm saying is,
we use the trees to destroy the trees.
Today I finally made a little stone owl place for my little dude. I'm giving him a name Joel. Shout out Joel. After my little owl enclosure was finished, I wasted all of my stone on a path almost down to the bottom of my farm. I may actually have to buy some stone since I'm always so low on it. I spent all day today on tree care. I had actually messed up my torch pattern, as you can see in this screenshot, so I fixed that up and got rid of a few more trees that had grown before going AFK for 10 minutes and sleeping as soon as I returned. Day 20, I harvested my blueberries for the first time, then tended to my leafy friends and fished. Yes, the trees are my friends. I'm not crazy, I swear. The blueberries sold for 12,000 gold, which was very nice. I definitely was going to need the gold since I was planning on making a few more tool upgrades. I was off the farm once again on day 49, and I decided I was getting a little bit lonely, so I built up a coop at Robin's. Unfortunately, I couldn't get chickens today because the coop wouldn't be finished today, and I can't build chickens until the coop itself is finished. I also snagged an extra 100 stone just for general usage since I ended up using up the last bit of mine building the coop. A little bit later, I meandered over to Clint's and finally upgraded my pickaxe to copper tier. The stupid rocks all over my farm were really bothering me, so I was 100% going to get an iron pickaxe by the end of these 100 days. After that, I headed over to the beach to do a little bit of fishing since I didn't really have anything else urgent to do. Then I remembered I could try and get the crimson fish, one of the couple of legendary fishes you can catch all over the map. I had to spend 300 wood to repair the bridge that lets me access the place where you can catch it, but thankfully I still had a stack of wood on me for when I built my coop. On my first cast, I instantly hooked one, but I was not warmed up and basically instantly failed it. I fished for the next 4 hours with no legends biting and barely even any normal fish biting, but just as the clock struck 1 AM, I hooked a fish and I knew that this was going to be my only chance to catch it today. It started with a big jump to the top, then chilled just a bit, but went wild just as I was about to catch it. Thankfully, it calmed down a little bit after that, and I managed to snag it. It had just turned 1 AM, so I began sprinting home as fast as I could so I wouldn't lose money from passing out, and I just barely missed it, passing out on the path up to my house. At least I made it onto my farm, which if, Stardew Valley followed logic, which mean I wouldn't lose money, but, at least I leveled up to fishing level 9, meaning I would have full energy, because since I leveled up skill, no energy loss. By day 50, I collected a ton of hops from the regrowing crops. That's kind of a rhyme, that's nice, which was really helping my energy worries from all the tree chopping. I fished the rest of the day till this stupid bat started chasing me, and dang, check out these sick moves. I deposited everything without even getting hit. I hooked a pretty wild fish at the start of day 51, and after a little bit of struggle, I actually managed to catch it, and it was an octopus. Okay, flashback time. Months ago, I was streaming, and the octopus was one of the last fish I needed to have finally caught every single fish. I'd been trying for like an hour of the stream to catch one, and I finally did. The thing is, also, I played on the farm with a couple of other people, and one of them had been pestering me all stream to join the farm, and since I had, finally caught the fish, I left the world to open it to co-op, without sleeping to save the day, meaning I lost the octopus. I did catch the fish back after another half hour, but since that day onwards, I've hated the octopus with every fiber of my being. After fishing for the rest of the day, I headed off to bed, a few fish closer to level 10 fishing. On day 52, I realized I'd actually messed up my torch pattern from earlier when I thought I was fixing it, so I fixed that and expanded it further, then, fished a little bit more. I'd built up a massive supply of valuable fish, a ton of sea cucumbers, puffer fish, and stuff like that. I really wanted to sell them with a bonus before next Sunday, but I really don't know if it's going to happen since I felt like I was still pretty far off from fishing level 10. I got my final blueberry harvest on day 53, which basically cuts my watering load by a third, which was very nice since watering gets old fast. With my extra time and energy, I broke some blueberries and set up a little dining area. I sadly couldn't unhoe this land, meaning I could only place a few paths. It was kind of annoying. Oh yeah, and those paths, I had actually gone bankrupt. Okay, fine, not real bankrupt, but I'd gone stone bankrupt. I'd used all my stone on these paths, which may not have been the smartest move, but aesthetics are important, okay? I fished for the rest of the day and caught one of the best treasure chests I've ever seen, a diamond, and this weapon was gonna help a ton in the mines. I fished literally, and I mean literally all day on day 54. Day 55 was pretty standard, tree chopping, collecting seeds, and fishing. With my time free on day 56, I headed straight to Marnie and bought chickens. I named them Imposter, Drake, Haley, and Octo Chicken. I have no defense for the names, to be honest. With the rest of my time, I planned to farm iron ore to make sprinklers, since I decided that the watering life was definitely not for me. I know it's kind of funny to decide that after 56 days, but you know, better late than never. With the extra iron I got from farming, I was also going to upgrade my pickaxe to iron. I'd brought my furnaces with me to smelt, but I'd forgotten that each iron bar took 2 hours to smelt, and sadly by the time I had 5 bars, the amount you need to upgrade your pickaxe, Clint's had already closed. But on a positive note, I farmed up over 100 iron ore and a ton of coal from killing dust sprites. I cannot imagine killing dust sprites with a floor 20 sword, so I'm glad I caught a better weapon. After, I just decided to bite the bullet and buy the Joja Mart pass, since there was no chance I was going to be doing anything community center related. I wanted to get the greenhouse in these days, and sadly this was the only way. After that, I just vibed to the moonlight jellies. Link to the remix I used in the description down below. And on that peaceful note, I headed to bed. On day 57, my summer vacation finally ended, if you could really call it that, and fall started. Fall is one of my favorite seasons. It has great vibes, the music is amazing, and it has some solid crops like pumpkins and cranberries. However, none of these crops were going to be planted right now since I couldn't leave my farm, obviously. I did still have a lot to do though. I set up a fence area to keep my chickens from wandering to really weird places. I did let them be relatively free range, but I wanted to contain them just a little bit so I didn't really lose them in case I forgot to pet them when the day started. Since I was going to be getting 4 eggs per day from them, I made 2 mayonnaise machines to process them, since I had everything and it was basically just free money. I mean, I guess it did cost both of my only earth crystals, but what else am I really going to be using them on besides donating to the museum? I cleaned up my tree area on my way down to the sprinkler area and started setting up my sprinklers. Okay, side rant. I don't mean to be egotistical, but I'm like pretty good at Stardew Valley, but the basic sprinkler pattern always takes me like a solid 15 seconds every time I try to do it for me to wrap my head around it. I don't know why. Anyways, after my sprinklers were placed down, I chopped down more trees and fish before deciding to make a big decision. I cut down almost every stump below my fence area and started setting up a new pattern. With instead of a space of 2 between them, I had only a space of 1. Unfortunately, I decided to start it at 1 AM, so I headed to bed before I could make decent progress. After doing all my chores around the farm, I started on a pattern of pine, then oak, then maple, and then repeat. After all these trees grew, it was gonna look so nice. I could not wait for them. The project was gonna take a while since I was running out of seeds, even with my huge pile up. I was only gonna do the space to the left of the path. My tree project continued into day 59, but I did get rid of some oak trees that I planted earlier, since even after I moved my chests up one that got blocked by them, they were still super annoying. After that, more fishing, come on. I cut more trees than planted seeds on day 60, unintentional rhyme by the way. Afterwards, with the wood I collected, I put fences around my crop area so no trees could accidentally destroy my sprinklers or crops when they spread. I also got bored, so I tore out all of my fences in my farm area since I was going to be using sprinklers now and I was very much overwatering. I wasn't sure what I was going to put there, but I had a couple ideas in mind. As for the fences, I wanted to expand a little bit downwards and probably put a path underneath them. Paths under fences look amazing. A little bit of pondering and tearing down some more fences, I settled on a chest storage area. Sure, 32 chests was complete and utter overkill for the farm, but I think it's going to make the farm look a lot nicer, plus I can get a lot more specific on dividing items in, like, you know, subcategories. I also apparently lost the footage of me organizing the chests with color and moving the items. It's just gone. I didn't lose any days. It just randomly isn't organized on fall 4th, then just is on fall 5th. I don't know what happened, man. On day 61, after I finished my lawn care and tending to my animals, I fished all day. Since this was kind of my first little bit of fishing this season, I sold a couple of fish to see how much they sold for, and unfortunately they did not sell for a whole lot, even at iridium quality. This was definitely going to be a lot less profitable than summer fishing. Day 62, I kept smelting more copper and iron for sprinklers, and did some more fishing, even though the fish sucked. Day 63 was a big day, first one off my farm this season. I had counted my sprinklers and bought enough cranberries to cover them all. I wasn't really bothering with pumpkins for the same reason I didn't bother with melons, no jars. And plus, with the basic fertilizer I'd crafted with my sap I got from cutting down all my trees, I was going to be getting tons of valuable gold quality cranberry. I had 30k gold and spent some of it to upgrade my pickaxe to iron so I could finally break the rocks on my farm and help me reach the bottom of the mines so I could get the skull key and work on completing Jutamo cart. With the rest of daylight and a little bit of nighttime, I hoed, watered, fertilized, and planted my cranberries so they were ready to go, then headed off to bed. I collected a couple blackberries since it was that time of year on day 64, then added a wood path below all my fences for a nicer looking aesthetic. Then I tore down some stumps below my storage area and expanded my fenced in area. I wanted to put something here, but I wasn't quite sure yet, plus this stupid rock was in my way, so I couldn't really do a whole lot. Day 65, I received a letter in my mail letting me know that the Stardew Valley Fair was in a couple days. So after tending to my beloved chicken, Imposter, I started preparing a few things. Then, wouldn't you know it, fished. Day 66 is once again forever lost to time. I have no idea what I did. Unfortunately, the next 33 days are also lost, so video over. Just kidding. Don't click off, please. Day 67, I did nothing of note except create this line of oak saplings for literally no reason. I was in a decorating mood on day 68, so I grabbed all my decorating goods, cleaned up this upper path with some fences, gates, and torches, then placed some wooden paths in the cave before immediately tearing them out. I don't think I've ever seen this path look good on a farm, but you know, if you have, send it to me on Twitter, and I mean while you're at it. Pun, I know, crazy. Follow me as well. I also inexplicably created this. I'm pretty sure I recorded this like really late at night, so hope you like it. Day. Oh wait, it's the funny day. Gotta appeal to the 13-year-olds. Sex. That's all you wanted, right? Oh, okay, next day. It was Sunday today, and I had one main mission: make it down in the mines. Before that, I caught the anglerfish, first try off the bridge above Joja Mart, broke some weeds, caught my iron pickaxe, and my way down to floor 80 in the mines. Not too shabby for one day. Oh, okay. No more humble bragging. That's really good for me. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention, along the way I found a lead rod, which is a super strong club weapon with my animation canceling and the combo attack. I was getting insanely lucky with weapons. Back on the old farm today, and my cranberries were finally ready, so I harvested them all and sold them for oh, okay, that's not supposed to happen. So I restarted the day without accidentally launching with cheat mods and played through the rest of it basically the same, but with some fishing, you know? Oh yeah, I also added a recolor mod for fun since, you know, why not? It's probably going to disappear later in the days when I get bored of it, but for now it's here, you know? Day 72, I headed over to the fair with all of my collectibles. I decided to go with my 2 legend fish, the crimson fish and the angler, and my octopus along with a gold star corn and melon, a diamond, and a gold red mushroom since I didn't really have anything else. After popping off in the fair minigame, I didn't actually pop off. I did like pretty mediocre. I decided to get my fortune told, and oh, so it seems like I'm alone and lonely in the future. You know, for that farm, this actually makes sense, so, you know, fair enough. After that mildly depressing revelation, I won first place with 101 points, so I got my 1,000 coins and gambled for a while and got all the money I needed to buy everything at the stall, and oh, hey, that's pretty cool. I like that. Anyways, one fit check later, I headed home and went to bed. I forgot to record until 4 p.m, so the only thing I have is me fishing. I also basically only fished for days 74, 75, and 76 as well. I left my farm with 54k gold on day 76, and I had plans to spend basically every single penny. I started off by spending 2,500 gold on some hay for my animals, so, you know, that they wouldn't starve. Then I opened 600 gold worth of geodes and donated my findings. Then the big one. 35,000 gold gone, spent unlocking the greenhouse. For my second last purchase, I bought 7,600 gold worth of pumpkins to plant in my greenhouse. It wasn't going to be enough to fully fill my greenhouse, but I needed the rest of my 10k gold to buy a horse for a little bit of company on the farm, and also traveling around faster. Afterwards, I farmed up some iron, gold, and coal so I could make some quality sprinklers for my greenhouse. Floor 80 to 100 also wasn't too shabby since I got another star drop and oh wait, look at that. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't use the same subscribing plug twice in one video unless, no, I'm kidding. On Monday, day 78, I smelted up a ton of refined quartz in addition to using up all of my backlog for some quality sprinklers. I made a solid 6 sprinklers and planted what pumpkins I could using that. Nothing else really happened that day besides smelting enough stuff for another sprinkler. Day 79, I smelted ore and placed torches in a nice little pattern all day. My torch mania didn't end day 80. I wasn't going to stop until my entire farm was done. In addition, I built a nice little path to the left so I could reach my fishing spot on my horse easier. Then in the last few hours of the day, set up all my sprinklers with some extra pumpkins and mix seeds. I got a cranberry harvest on day 81, but I didn't record it because I'm dumb. And because of this harvest, I also built a path down so I could reach it with my horse. Day 82, I got a letter letting me know that the Spirit's Eve was tomorrow. I sure hope I don't forget it. I'm sure he wouldn't do that.
Foreshadowing is a narrative device in which suggestions or warnings about events to come are dropped or planted. Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
Afterwards, I fished, but are you kidding? Oh my god, that was half my furnaces. Sorry guys, I was saying that I was fishing in a different spot. Then the real important thing, I moved some of the guys I collected to the table so they could sit and have someone to chat to. Except the owl, he's all alone. He just like me, for real. Day 83, I put some more sprinklers in my greenhouse. I was just missing 2 now. Then I fished. On day 84, I had only a couple of things to do, like upgrading my coop for some more chicken friends. They're all I have. Okay. Anyways, I reached floor 120, meaning I could finally start aiming for Junimo cart completion. I tried for 5 minutes, then gave up and decided to do it next Sunday. Winter 1st, I fished all day, just trying to get a sense of what kind of fish I was going to get. Day 86, I finally decided what I was going to do with all the space I had in my fence area. I moved some fences and gates around, placed some paths, and more. I was going to move all the cabins I built at the start to choose more parsnips here, since they were kind of just sitting willy-nilly. In addition to that stuff, I also moved my chest setup slightly since it was out of alignment, and spent like 3 minutes moving this one stupid chest. Alright, so it's out. Let's move it here. Oh, never mind. This time's going to go where oh, no, it still isn't. Maybe this time. No. Day 87, I continued decorating and built an area where I thought I was going to put some fruit trees. I knew they weren't going to grow in time, but whatever. It's the thought that counts, you know? I also sorted out my stump area. I still wanted to keep it for a consistent, easy to find source of acorns and seeds, but I wanted to make it a little bit nicer, and a path plus fence sorted that out easily. Day 88, I messed up my path pattern just a bit since I forgot cabins were like 3 tiles wide. No other creative motivations today, so I just headed to bed without any more decorating. My coop was finished on day 89, and I accidentally put an egg into the incubator. I forgot that was a thing. I only ever used it to incubate dino eggs, so I mean whatever, that's 800 gold saved because I don't have to buy an extra chicken. Nothing of note really happened besides a hell of a lot of torches. I spent literally all of day 90 torching every single square inch of my farm and setting up processing machines to process the literal hundreds of trash I got from my hours of fishing. Day 91, I had a Saturday and I had a lot to do, including buy more hay, buy chickens, sew new clothes since I got Emily's sewing machine earlier, move my house down, move the stable next to my house, farm iron to make recycling machines, buy stone, buy grass seed, and last but not least, beat Junimo cart. Everything went well, buying all my chickens, naming one of them Alden, if you know, you know, only having one mild inconvenience and having to move a torch so I could move my stable. I ended up making my warp totem mask and having a Charlie Brown shirt. And damn, rate the fit, leave it down below. Leave it out of 10, let's say, leave it out of 10. Anyways, I farmed like 50 iron, then booted up a live stream where I wouldn't end the stream until I beat Junimo cart. I beat it in 2 attempts. Anyways, well, shout out to everyone who's here, and make sure if you did subscribe, have notifications on, because I do scream. Well, I mean, technically, I do stream, but just very randomly. Day 72, I polished my farm design and started planning for space to put my recycling machines. Then I dominated the fishing festival and BM just a little bit, but the laughing emote was just a little bit bugged. Then I collected my prize prizes and headed home and just, you know, placed a little bit of grass everywhere since I had some and I forgot to place it. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention, I bought a 5,000 gold Christmas tree, all the food from the festival, and a painting as well. Today, I only had 2 things to do. Urgently, I made a little recycling setup, then designed my house. I went through a few designs, but I ended up on this one, and honestly, this is the proudest I've ever been with a house design. I did have a few more things to do that I didn't realize at the start, like moving this bed out of my house, and yay, the return of BB. Everyone, give him a round of applause. Oh wait, no, he's gone again. I randomly made a bunch of garden pots and filled this house since, you know what, why not, I guess. I can do what I want, okay? Then I collected all my pumpkins and sold them for like a surprising amount of money. I did not realize the base sell price was so high. I didn't really do a lot on day 94 besides placing torches, recycling stuff, and remaking my fishing setup. It turned out nice. I fished all day on day 95 and a bat literally almost killed me because I was just so lazy I didn't want to move. He just like me, for real. Today I cleaned up my crop area with paths under the fences and a path through the bottom left corner. I was originally going to turn this into a mahogany tree area, but I just didn't have enough seeds, so I turned it into a pine forest. Day 97, I fished. No, I'm kidding. I lost the footage. Day 98, I helped the wizard with a quest, opened all my geodes for a last donation run, bought a bunch of saplings to plant, and farmed to get like level 5 combat in the mines. I only killed like 3 things, and I was like, whatever. I probably won't have enough time to hit level 5. Then I checked, and I had actually already got it. I was happy based on my mouse movements. Then I headed home and slept on my final day off the farm. Day 99, I finished up my farm and headed to sleep. Day 100, I just stood all day, just watching the sun slowly set over my farm. But wait, here's my farm all finished up in spring with all the trees grown, and holy smokes, it's amazing. I've never made anything nicer. If you made it to the end of the video, comment, hey all, and watch this other 100 days video on screen. And I appreciate you guys for watching the end. See you later.